Gotta keep those kitties happy and safe. Hi everybody and welcome to Cats and Pats. So I was planning on doing another DIY video this week related to feral kitties and outside and wintertime and all, but it keeps getting dark super early. By which I mean daylight saving time started. Or ended, I always forget which. We fell back an hour, so by the time I get home, it gets pretty dark in my living room. And Sarah has some filming lights which I can do for like a video like this, like a talking heads video. But anytime I do a DIY, I kind of get my whole living room in here and I want the whole room lit up and not like dark shadows and stuff. So, here we are, although this is daylight now, but I was gonna record it last night, but then I did something with like a rescue league and I was transporting some puppies and my plans got all flip-flopped. And I'm filming and editing it all in one day. Actually, this is supposed to go up in 4.5 hours. But in keeping the wintry theme of all of this, today I wanted to share some things with you to keep your kitties happy and safe this winter. So first, we'll start with some purely inside stuff. If you have a kitty that normally sleeps on the floor, maybe try to move their bed or wherever they like to sleep someplace high in order to avoid drafts. My kitties usually sleep wherever, most of the time hopping in bed with us. But if this isn't the case with you, keep that in mind. Also, just like with people, older kitties can get stiff and uncomfortable when the temperature drops. You know, like arthritic joints and all. What might be an okay jump or climb in the summer might be hard to do in the winter. So if their favorite sleeping place is somewhere up high, up on a tall bed or something, you might want to put like a box or a chair beside there. That way they have like an intermediate step and it can make it easier for them to climb up. My friend on YouTube, Butterfly Planner, actually mentioned this as a DIY video a long while ago. Her now recently passed away kitty Tigger was getting older and had a harder time climbing up on stuff. But that idea has been on the back burner for a little while. I've brainstormed some things, so keep an eye out for that eventually. But I did make a video all about Tigger a long while ago and I'll link that and her channel down below. I mean, that idea is still on my list. I just want to make a nice portable cheap option, that way you don't have like a chair sitting in the middle of your floor. So when it comes to outside, we have a lot of things to keep in mind. If you have an outdoor cat shelter, you should try to raise it off the ground because the frozen ground can actually draw heat away from the shelter, which obviously isn't good. If you have a few 2x4s or some boards like that, you can like put those down and raise it up on those. Whatever you do to get the shelter off the ground, make sure it's nice and steady and still accessible to your cat. And the more you can do, the better, but even like a pile of straw would help out. Also, make sure that entrance is not facing into the wind. If you haven't cleaned out that shelter recently, make sure to swap in fresh straw and maybe even put in some extra for the cold months. Make sure you don't have any cloth or towels on there that can actually get wet from moisture in the air and then become like cold and damp and moldy and can actually draw heat away from your cat's body. Straw is where it's at. If you need shelter ideas, I've created a couple you can check out. I'll link those up here and down below, but really there are a ton on YouTube. Okay, cars. This is especially important in wintertime. When you drive, your car engine gets really hot and warm, and then you go and park your car. Well, underneath the hood of a car is really appealing to a cat because it's nice and warm and provides a lot of shelter from like the wind and the elements, so cats will curl up there to sleep. So whenever you're leaving for work in the morning, or leaving from work, or leaving to the movies or whatever, make sure to go to your hood and just like whack it a couple times. This will hopefully scare any cat that's in there out from underneath your hood before you start your car up. It only takes a second or two and it could save a life. And it doesn't take much to make like a loud noise on your car. You're not like trying to put dents in your hood or anything. Along the same lines, antifreeze. Clean it up. This is true all year long, but in wintertime, people are actually checking their antifreeze levels and like putting more in their car. It's extremely poisonous to animals, so make sure you clean up any spills like promptly and thoroughly. Another thing to keep in mind is salt and other de-icing materials. This can be like road salt or something you get from Walmart for like your own sidewalk, if you do that sort of thing. This sort of stuff can be really irritating to your cat's feet, like their little paw pads. Also, not all of the de-icing things are non-toxic. So your cat might walk outside, get this junk on their feet, and then like lick their paws to clean them, and next thing you know, you have a sick cat. If you're close to a road or you know somehow your cat might get like an irritant like that on their paws, just take a quick second when they come in and wipe their paws down. Doesn't have to be anything too fancy, just a quick wipe so that stuff goes like on a paper towel and not in their bodies. A big thing in wintertime is just to make sure your cats come in as much as they want. Keep a special eye on older cats and sick cats, as it's easier to get worn out, and in the snow it's really easy to get disoriented, which you don't want. Now, in my 20-some years of being around cats, we've never had problems with this, but people say in the colder winter temperatures, food is harder to find. So if you're somewhere with coyotes or animals like that, they may become a little bolder, come closer to your homes, and go after bigger animals. You don't want that to be your cat, so especially at night when those animals are hunting, try to encourage your cat to be inside. Your kitties may need to eat a little bit more in the winter, especially if they're going outside a lot. So it can be a good idea to give them some extra food or treats when they come inside. Finally, some kitties love winter. They love being outside, prowling around, ground. Some may even like the snow, although I do recommend, like my mom does, like shoveling some cat paths. That way they have a little path they can just like run down and go to the bathroom and come back inside. But keep an eye on your kitties that really love the cold outside temperatures, especially their ears. Their ear tips are thin and delicate and can actually get frostbite. So my biggest takeaway in all of this is just to keep a watchful eye on your cats. Make sure they're acting normal, make sure they're warm, and just provide them with whatever they need. If you've recently adopted or found some feral cats, make sure to check out how to build them like a shelter and how to keep them hydrated during the winter. I'll link those videos down below and one of them right here. Or if you just have some indoor cats that you want to make some toys for, I have plenty of videos about that. And if you like this video, hit that like button. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.